Now, welcome student. Today we have to see second application of Nernst distribution law, that is application for the determination of degree of dissociation. In previous lecture we come to know about the determination of degree of association, but today we have to determine degree of dissociation. Now for this, first of all, see what is meant by degree of dissociation. If suppose we have 100 molecules of any substance is taken which is under study, out of these let me assume 70 molecules get dissociated, then 70 by 100 will give the degree of dissociation. In short, degree of dissociation is the fraction of total number of molecules dissociated at equilibrium. Means no doubt during that dissociation there is equilibrium established between dissociated and undissociated molecule. At that time, this degree of dissociation can be defined as it is the fraction of total number of molecules dissociated at equilibrium. Let me consider we have two solutes. Let me assume this is solvent A and this is A and this is solvent B. Okay, let me assume we have this solvent and let the solute undergoes dissociation in solvent B. Let solute X dissociates in solvent B. Okay, this is assumed, and it is in that solute is in normal state, or this solute is in a normal state in solvent A, and the equilibrium is established between the two solvents is given as, let me assume this is solute X. Okay, there is no change here, there is no change. Okay, in solvent A, this solute X distributes and the equilibrium is established between dissociated and undissociated molecule, but it get dissociated in the solvent B. That's why here X is in equilibrium with Y plus Z. There is a dissociation. Okay, now in this bottom layer, that is in solvent B, there is dissociation, and here the molecules remains as it is. Now let me assume the C1 is the concentration of X. Here C1 be the concentration of X in this solvent A, and C2 be the concentration of this solute in solvent B. No doubt this C2 is the concentration of X in solvent B, and it is the sum of concentration of dissociated and undissociated molecules. Okay, the total concentration in this solvent B is C2. C2 is the concentration of X dissociated, very important, dissociated and undissociated in solvent B. Okay, Now previously you know what is C1. C1 be the concentration of X in solvent A. Okay, now you know C1 and C2. Now if alpha is degree of dissociation, see carefully, what is there? Let be assume during this dissociation in solvent B, let be assume alpha is the degree of dissociation. Now if alpha is degree of dissociation, you know the equilibrium reaction between undissociated and dissociated molecules. Let be assume the equilibrium is established. Now if alpha is the degree of dissociation, then number of molecules at equilibrium will be alpha, and at equilibrium this undissociated molecule will be 1 minus alpha. Now you know the number of molecules at equilibrium. Okay, you know the concentration C2 of solute X, that is dissociated and undissociated. That's why if concentration at equilibrium is to be determined, if C2 is the concentration of dissociated and undissociated molecules, then this concentration of undissociated molecule at equilibrium will be C2 into 1 minus alpha. It will be C2 into alpha, it will be C2 into alpha. Okay, now here it is important, concentration at equilibrium. Okay, because we have to apply the Nernst distribution law here. Now applying Nernst distribution law to the normal molecules into solvent, applying Nernst distribution law to normal molecules in two solvents A and B. Okay, in two solvents. Now you know C1 is the concentration of that solute in solvent A, C2 be the concentration in solvent B, but you know there is dissociation in solvent B. That's why the concentration of normal molecules in solvent A, C1, upon concentration of the same molecules in solvent B after dissociation, it will be C2 into 1 minus alpha, that is equals to Kd. And this is the Nernst distribution law. Later on, this is Nernst distribution law for the modified case when the solute get dissociated in one of the solvent. This is the second application of Nernst distribution law. Now see the example based on the Nernst distribution law so far as dissociation of solute occur. Now see example. Succinic acid is distributed in water and ether. Okay, there are two layers, one is water layer and another is ether layer, organic layer, aqueous layer. Now in aqueous solution, means in water, it undergoes a dissociation. Okay, the concentration of an acid in aqueous layer was 42.5 into 10 raised to power minus 3 kg per dm cube, and in ether layer was found to be 7.1 into 10 raised to power minus 3 kg per dm cube. If the distribution coefficient of that acid is 0.25, calculate the degree of dissociation assuming the normal molecules in ether. Okay, now here see two layers are there, one is ether layer. Okay, see, this is our example. Okay, this is ether layer. Okay, this is aqueous layer or water layer. Okay, now here the concentration in aqueous solution, they undergoes in dissociation. Here there is a dissociation. Okay, here there is a dissociation, and the concentration of acid in aqueous layer is found to be 42.5 into 10 raised to power minus 3 kg per dm cube. Okay, or kg into dm cube raised to minus 3, same thing. And that was ether layer was 77.1 into 10 raised to power minus 3 kg per dm cube. In the same unit, concentration is given. The distribution coefficient of an acid is, that is Kd is given, it will be 0.25. Since this is ratio, that's why no limit. Calculate, no unit, calculate the degree of dissociation. Then we have to find out this alpha. Okay, assuming the normal molecules in ether. Now previously, before some time, we come to know this Kd is C1 upon C2 into 1 minus alpha, where C1 is the concentration in which, where here C1 is the concentration of solute in solvent A when there is no dissociation, and C2 be the total concentration here where the dissociation takes place. Here the dissociation takes place in aqueous layer. Okay, now see, further solving this example, C1 you know, Kd 0.25. okay, you know C1. What is C1? C1 is given concentration in ether layer, it will be 7.1 into 10 raised to power minus 3 upon, what is C2? C2 is the concentration in aqueous layer, then it will be 42.5, okay, into 10 raised to power minus 3, 1 minus alpha. Now you have to find out alpha. That's why 1 minus alpha is equals to 7.1 into 10 raised to power minus 3 upon 42.5 into 10 raised to power minus 3 into 0.25. This is 0.25. Okay, now again you have to find out this alpha. That's why here 1 minus alpha, when this alpha is come to right side, then it will be plus alpha, then it will be 1 minus so much, and this is nothing but this bracket. Now solve this. After solving this, we come to know that this alpha is found to be 0.33. okay, now this value of here, this value total here, it will be 1 minus alpha, it will be, this total value will be 0.66. what is it will be? This, see, this 1 minus alpha, that is equals to 0.66, because the total calculation 7.1 into 10 raised to power minus 3 upon 42.5 into 10 raised to power minus 3 into, means this dividation, multiplication, all this you will get 0.66. That's why 1 minus 0.66, that is equals to alpha, and it will be 0.33, that is equals to alpha. This is the final answer. Now in this way, this is the second application of Nernst distribution law to solve the problems as well as to determine the degree of dissociation. Okay.